Welcome back to our channel, Exposing the Great Australian Government. In this video, Local Government Queensland, which is another notice that you can serve on every trader and criminal that is purporting to be local government in Queensland. This document will show you, the people, where these purported politicians and political parties inserted local governments into their copyrighted version of our primary law, which cannot be copyrighted as it is owned by every Australian. If you are going to stand up and fight for what is right, please send these notices via registered post and keep the evidence. It is time to show all these criminals and traitors the truth, backed up by the facts, their own official government documents. Do you really want your future generations living under tyranny while being ruled by these evil pedophiles and their pedophilic protecting mercenaries? Let's get into it. Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted under the Royal Coat of Arms. 5. Operation of the Constitution and laws. This Act and all laws made by the Parliament of the Commonwealth under the Constitution shall be binding on the courts, judges and people of every state and of every part of the Commonwealth, notwithstanding anything in the laws of any state. Section 58. Royal assent to bills. When a proposed law passed by both houses of the Parliament is presented to the Governor-General for the Queen's assent, he shall declare, according to his discretion, but subject to this Constitution, that he assents in the Queen's name, or that he withholds assent, or that he reserves the law for the Queen's pleasure. Recommendations by Governor-General. The Governor-General may return to the House in which it originated any proposed law so presented to him, and may transmit therewith any amendments which he may recommend, and the Houses may deal with the recommendation. Now, Queensland Local Government Act 1993, number 70, Local Government Act 2009, Act number 17. It has come to our knowledge that these acts have no Crown and constitutional authority. Here's your Local Government Act of 1993, number 70. Now, we all know what this seal is. This is a fraudulent copy of a public functionary seal. We have done the videos on the seals. Assented to 7th of December 1993. This is not royal assent. The Parliament of Queensland enacts. No Crown authority by this enacting manner and form equals treason. Now, we've covered the enacting manner and form. This is not what it is. Unreal. Part 3, interpretation, definitions. In this act, this particular act, local government means a local government established under this act, and it's copyrighted to the state of Queensland in 1993. We are not between the fraudulent seal and the copyright. This act is an enforcement extortion racket using treason. Now we'll move on to the Local Government Act of number 17 of 2009. Again, this is a fraudulent copy of a public functionary seal. They say it was assented to the 12th of June 2009. This is not royal assent. The Parliament of Queensland enacts. No Crown authority by this enacting manner and form equals treason. 4. The remaining provisions of the Act commence on a day to be fixed by proclamation. This is not royal assent. Number 3. Purpose of this Act. The purpose of this Act is to provide for B. a system of local government in Queensland that is accountable, effective, efficient and sustainable. Note, the system of local government consists of a number of local governments. See the Constitution of Queensland 2001 section 70, which will be below in the description. Constitution of Queensland 2001 is another treasonous pretend act, bill, with a fraudulent seal and copyrighted to the State of Queensland 2001. The system of local government in Queensland under the treasonous political party's Constitution of Queensland 2001 is fraud and treason. Copyrighted State of Queensland 2009. We are not between the fraudulent seal and the copyright. This act is an enforcement extortion racket using treason. We have on the left hand side, remember, the Parliament of Queensland, by the people, for the people. Then on the right hand side it's changed over to Queensland Parliament with their Maltese cross and their royal crown. And this traitor Stephen Miles, I think his name is, standing in front of the treasonous flag. The above Queensland is not the Queensland as established under our primary law, Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted. The treasonous political party Queensland joined the status of the Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense equals treason. Australia Acts Request Act 1985, number 69. An act to enable the constitutional arrangements affecting the Commonwealth and the states to be brought into conformity with the status of the Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation. When was the referendum? Treason again. The Oxford Dictionary, status is a noun, the official classification given to a country. Under our primary law, Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted, we are a constitutional monarchy and our Queensland is an original state. Whereas the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth and the Premiers of the states at conferences held in Canberra on the 24th and 25th of June 1982 and the 21st of June 1984 agreed on the taking of certain measures to bring constitutional arrangements affecting the Commonwealth and the states into conformity with the status of the Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation. When was the referendum? Treason again. They tell us the Prime Minister, all state premiers conspired to remove our primary law, Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted, and our Queen, at the time being Elizabeth II by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and of our other realms and territories, Queen, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith. Constitutional Commission 1988. Proposed alteration to the Constitution. Bill number 1. An act to alter the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act by omitting obsolete words and so as to recognise the Queen of Australia. Be it enacted by the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia with the approval of the who? Oh, the electors. Were you asked? I don't recall being asked. As required by the Constitution, as follows. Bill number 2. An act to alter the Constitution so as to require senators and members of the House of Representatives to take oaths or affirmations of allegiance to the Queen of Australia. Be it enacted by the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia with the approval of the who? The electors again. Oh, so I don't recall this one, do you? As required by the Constitution, as follows. Queensland, under the Royal Coat of Arms. The Criminal Code Act 1899, 63 Victoria, number 9, an act to establish a code of criminal law, as amended. The first schedule, section 2, the Criminal Code of Queensland, chapter 49, punishment of forgery and like offences. Punishment of forgery in general. 488. Any person who forges any document, writing or seal is guilty of an offence which, unless otherwise stated, is a crime, and he is liable, if no other punishment is provided, to imprisonment with hard labour for 3 years. Punishment in special cases, public seals, etc. 1. Or I, or L. If the thing forged, A, purports to be, or is intended by the offender to be understood to be, or to be used as, the Great Seal of the United Kingdom, or of Queensland, or Her Majesty's Privy Seal, or any privy signet of Her Majesty, or Her Majesty's Royal Sign Manual, or the seal of the Governor, or any public seal lawfully appointed to be used for authenticating an act of state in any part of Her Majesty's dominions. B. Is a document having on it, or affixed to it, any such seal, signet, or sign manual, or anything which purports to be, or is intended by the offender to be understood to be, any such seal, signet, or sign manual, the offender is liable to imprisonment with hard labour for life. Why are they still out there? Why? Queensland, again, under the Royal Coat of Arms. The Criminal Code Act 1899, 63 Victoria, number 9, part 11. Offences against public order. Chapter 6. Treason and other offences against the sovereign's person and authority. Treason. 37. Any person who 5. Levies war against the sovereign, A, with intent to depose the sovereign from the style and title, honour and royal name of the Imperial Crown of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, or of any other of Her Majesty's dominions. B, in order by force or constraint to compel the sovereign to change her measures or counsels, or in order to put any force or constraint upon, or in order to intimidate or overawe any House of Parliament of any of Her Majesty's dominions. 6. Conspires with any other person to levy war against the sovereign, with any such intent or purpose as last aforesaid. 7. Instigates any foreigner to make an armed invasion of any part of Her Majesty's dominions. 8. Assists by any means whatever any public enemy at war with the sovereign. Is guilty of a crime which is called treason, and is liable to imprisonment with hard labour for life, which cannot be mitigated or varied under section 19 of this code. All council CEOs and councillors come under the above act. If in doubt in respect to any of the above mentioned matters, it is wise to seek independent lawful advice, as ignorance of the law is no excuse and no defence. Queensland. Treason from within, Queen of Australia. Yeah, traitor to the people stands in front of a treasonous flag. You all know this one, Queensland Parliament, which it's still supposed to be Parliament of Queensland. Elizabeth II, Queen of Australia, more treason. Supreme Court of Queensland with their fraudulent seal, a copy of our public functionary seal. And then you've got all these deceitful, lying traitors. The above 6 so-called Queensland governors all sold their souls to the treasonous political parties, all appointed by public seal of the state. The state has taken ownership of the Crown. Therefore, all 6 governors sit in treason. These treasonous governors have no Crown and constitutional authority, therefore can't give royal assent to any act. All states are the same. That's why every state parliament tells us all acts from 1986 forward are only purported acts with purported enactments. Walter Campbell was the so-called governor of Queensland that sold his soul to the treasonous political parties and enacted their Australia Acts Request Act 1985 number 69 and purportedly gave it royal assent. You're nothing but a traitor and a lying sack of dog shit. No royal assent from 1985 forward, as the treasonous political parties changed the governor's definition from representing our Crown. Therefore, no royal assent. Your Acts Interpretation Act Section 9A tells all that all acts from the Australia Acts 1986 forward are only purported acts with purported enactments. I reserve all my rights to pursue legal remedy against all parties in their own private, individual capacity for all harassment, harm and stress, etc., past, present and future, in a court of competent jurisdiction. I, AB, have transferred the guilt of knowledge of treason to you, where you will insert whichever scumbag you want to send it to, because that's all they are. Put its name down and its position, and it also folds over to their heirs and successors. It's time to take action, people. Enough is enough.
So your oath, who did you swear your oath to? Was it Queen of Australia?
Queen, I can't remember.
Queen of Australia. Queen of Australia was created in 1973 by Gough Whitlam.
That was just a title thing. There's
No, it is. I know.
I actually do not give a rap for pajamas about the Crown and the 1973 change to the Constitution.
They also admitted treason out of their so-called acts and legislation. Why would they do that?
I've heard of that before.
Why would they do it?
You know why they would do it.
I have one question though. I'd like to know, I'd like you can't put through and I'd like to see what Ryan says. What exactly is it
Like what?
There's no royal assent on any local government act in Australia, ever. We voted 3 times to have no councils, no local government.
We haven't got local government.
They're registered in the United States, correct?
No.
They are, corporations.